and I am here with another Christmas spectacular layout for you guys today. Now, I'm not including any wood grain, so I can't really call it a wood grain and winter layout, but it is a Christmas related layout. So I'm going to be doing a 2-page spread with all of these photos of our Christmas decorations. Well, actually just the tree and our stockings. And then I wanted to pull in these lacy laser cut bits, as well as this gorgeous plaid. You guys, it is my favorite plaid in this entire, in all-time Christmas. This is a gorgeous plaid. I also pulled out this foundation paper in black because I love the introduction of the stars. Stars are my thing, so I am very attracted to this foundation collection. I also pulled out 2 pieces of white daisy cardstock. And I am going to use Vibes with Elfin Magic. It is the perfect matching green to this collection, you guys. Beautiful complement to this collection. So I love it. I am loving my little mix of Shimmer's paints that match this collection, so I can continue to do mixed media and just keep the same exact paints handy instead of going and guessing which other paints would match. I just have my nice little collection going on here, which brings me to another thought while I'm ripping paper, is that when you think of collections, do you prep your work surface? So say if you're working with a collection like this one, I'm working with winter, do you prep your medias as well, like your ink pads that might match, your paints that might match, your sprays, all that stuff, and include that in your kit that you're going to work with the month? It was something that I was thinking about doing, and I wasn't really sure, but this year it has come in very handy to have the matching sprays and paints on the desk. And then I could just keep creating layout after layout after layout. And I love it, you guys. I'm like a layout creating machine this month. Anyways. All right, so I cut one of the lacy bits right in half so I could make a 2-page border with one lacy piece, because in the lacy laser die cut collection, you can't get 2 of each. Now, some of them are similar but not exact, and you could make it work for sure. But I like these wider ones because you can cut them in half and be able to stretch it across a 2-page layout. So it really, really works without having to buy 2 elements just to get 2 of one item. All right, so I am going to go ahead and keep ripping my paper. I really do like a good distressed edge. One of the things I like about the distressed edge is if it doesn't match, or it wasn't ripped perfect, or it's not, like your blade cut wonky, which really it's not the machine's fault, but we like to think it is. A distressed edge clears up all those imperfections. They really, really do. It makes scrapbooking less stressful because things don't have to be perfect. And especially when I am trying to match up a border going all the way across the top, nothing frustrates me more than them not matching up. Well, as you can see, I did not cut them perfectly straight across. And so when I distress, it makes it all that much better, because then it was, ripped instead of cut, and I'm not as stressed out at the fact that they don't match all the way across. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of packaging technique behind my photos just to give them a photo mat. Like I said, this year I'm trying to, not this year, but this month, I am trying to step away from the norm, which is always matting my photos. It is an extra step that I feel like I can save a lot of time scrapbooking, leaving it out. But so I'm trying different techniques throughout the month of December to try and see if I can eliminate needing photo mats. I just, something different, you guys, stepping out of my box, right? However, it didn't work in this layout. It was definitely missing, and I needed that that border. So I will be while this is drying, I will be matting my photos, even though I tried. So I'm trying to get my packaging technique, or my, the beautiful watercolor splashes, which I just love. And I'm trying to get it to go all the way across my 2-page layout, so that way it looks like one continuous watercolor pattern, instead of I have some on this page and I have some on that page. So I'm trying to keep my pages together and work on it as a whole instead of as two different pieces. So, and I'm also being super picky for some reason on the fact that I don't want it to go all the way to the edges except for in the center. So I'm going to check it real quick to see if I have enough poking out with my little laser pieces, and see if I need to bring in a little bit more. But I don't want too much. Like, I don't want a whole lot. And so I'm going to pull out 3 of these laser bits, just like lace remnants, I guess is what they are. And they will be behind my photo. Again, just trying to not mat my photos. So, and then I'm going to pull this one piece out just to help me with a journaling spot, but it doesn't end up being a journaling spot. I thought that that's what it's going to be, but it doesn't. So my papers were on the almost close to matching size until I went ahead and I cut off the scruffy edge of this one piece, and it ended up making it shorter than the other piece. And I did not trim off the other piece to match, because like I said, in the end, a distressed edge, I'm okay with that. Plus you get the gap in the middle from your book. So again, I'm okay with them not really truly matching up. So I'm going to go ahead, and I was looking to see which side matched up better. And with Close to My Heart White Daisy cardstock, it always seems to be, and I don't know if it's just one side or two, but it always seems to be a little bit larger, than 12 inches. So I will have to cut that off, but I'm going to put my lacy bits down because my lacy bit was longer than 12 inches as well. So I needed to cut it off anyways. So I'm just putting it in my trimmer and going to slice it down, and it works perfect. Now, this is the first trimmer that I've ever had. This is like the only good thing I say about this trimmer, but this is the first trimmer that I've ever had that actually cuts a nice cut down the edge when I need it to slice off a little bit like that. Usually I've in the past, I've worked with Cricut cutters. I've worked with Fiskars cutters and a Tonic Studio cutter. And when I bring it in and I want to cut off a slice that skinny along the edge, it always ends up wonky. Like it has a wave in the middle of it. And I'm not really sure if that's because I can't hold my paper down all the way, or if it's just because it's such a small little sliver I'm trying to cut off. I don't know. But the Caterpillar is the one that I'm grateful for, that because I do end up with these White Daisy cardstocks having to cut off that small little bit. Sometimes I can get away with not having to cut it off because I'm not having paper go edge to edge, but most of the time I have to cut it off. All right, so I'm just cutting out my photo mats, and I did not, I fast forwarded, you guys. It's me cutting paper and then me gluing my photos to the paper. I don't distress the edges. I don't do anything. I just wanted a small little white border because my photos are on the warm side. And so I really wanted them to pop up off all the clusterings that I'm going to be adding to this layout. And by adding my white border, that gives a barrier between everything and the photos. So I did not pick out my embellishments just yet. So I left this process in because I took this entire collection and I put it in my measuring cups. Now I have these really cool little measuring cups from the Pioneer Woman, and they are beautifully decorated. And they're, I think, 1 cup all the way down to a 1/4 cup, I think is how they work. So I've got 4 of them, and I separate my embellishments by size as well. You know, the 1/4 inch sizes, the I don't know, the 1/2 inch sizes, 2/3. I'm not sure, you guys. But I mix them up, or I didn't mix them up. I separate them by the size, and then I go through each little bowl and pick out what element. And then this way, by having it separated by size and everything, I'm automatically separating my clusters into small, medium, and large elements for each cluster. And then I don't have to think about it because it's already done. It's already something that was pre-done when I opened up all these packages and mixed up all my embellishments and did all the good stuff. Now for my extra large stuff, that is in my organizer. And because I didn't have they just don't fit in the bowl very well. So usually I have a tray that they all sit in. But lately I've been liking all of my stuff standing up and flipping through it standing up rather than digging through it laying down. It just seems like I need more shuffling surface when everything's laid down. So here's one of my little bowls. And I am just separating out all of the little pieces for each little cluster. So I've got one cluster with the title over on my left page, and then I'll have 2 more clusters over on the right page. And then I do definitely have little pieces up at the top that you can't see what I'm playing with just yet. Once I'm done going through my little bowl, I will bring it back down and share with you guys what I pick out. Now, not everything ends up on the layout when I put the clusters together. But close enough. It does give me a feel for what I'm looking for, as well as what, like, do I have my clusters full enough? So here's my last little bowl. It is full of all of the micro pieces, the sprinkly bits that we like to put on the layout. If enamel dots weren't sticky back, that's where this would go, or that's what would be in this bowl as well. Just anything that is super tiny little words, the stars, the not tags. Tabs. That's what they're called. Wrong letter at the end. So yeah, that's what is in this bowl, is just the little guys. And once I am done picking and choosing what I want on my layout, I am definitely going to be bringing my layout down so you can see. And then, of course, I will shuffle the elements on the page a little bit better before gluing them down. Of course, this is not how they're going to glue down. Now, I did pick out 2 little Santas that they're holding presents. I picked those out because I thought, I don't really use Santas on my layouts. But this one came with some super cute Santas, and so I'm going to try to tuck him in here and there, and use him throughout the month, to be honest, because I do have a few of them. And normally I like to be pretty literal when it comes to putting Santa on the page, and so I want to, put him on the page where, like this, Santa visited us. And so the Santa with the Christmas present was perfect, because there he is, right? Or he came and graced us. Now, I do have a large family, you guys, and so that's what this is. And then, of course, the box on the side was a bicycle. A bicycle in winter. He didn't get to ride it until like April, you guys. It was so sad. And then it broke and we had to go buy a new one. Yeah, my son is very rough. It's my youngest son. He is very rough on everything. He's like a bull in a china shop. So, all right. And then I did end up, like I said, I tucked in that red piece a little bit farther than I originally anticipated, because it was going to be my journaling. And then I decided, no, I don't want to journal on red. I think it's going to be harder in the long run for someone to read it. And what I mean by that is later on in life, as our eyes get older, I think putting black writing on red will be hard for us to see and decipher what it is that we wrote. So I'm not really sure where the journaling is going to go. Probably right underneath the lacy bit and over on the right side of the left page. It might be my journaling, but I don't have a whole lot to say It's just my fascination of when everything is done and before the children wake up and everything becomes chaotic. I love to take a picture of the final results of winter. We don't set up our tree until about 2 weeks into Christmas, so like December 15th, because our living area is so tiny and it takes up so much space that my anxiety can't handle the cluster for so long. So I do wait until, I don't want to say the very last minute, but I do wait. I want to enjoy it. I really do. I love enjoying it. And when we first bought the house and before we started moving in, I wanted to leave my tree up all year round because we didn't even have couches back then. And so the tree was the only thing taking up this living space. But as our furniture started coming in and we started building a home, we don't leave space for a tree. And so it just stresses me a little bit to have all this cluster, especially when our front door is just to the left of the tree. And so people are coming in constantly from the front door because we have a lot of people. So they come in constantly through the front door, and sometimes they forget the tree is there. They'll knock it over. The dogs like to greet us at the front door, so they step on the presents. It's just like stressful in a different way than life is stressful, right? So yeah, we aren't decorate the first day after Thanksgiving people. Just because of how clustered it is in our home with lots of people. I'd rather it be filled with people than things, right? So anyways, that is my layout. I absolutely love how it turned out. I squealed like a little girl when I finished it and saw it. It just is the perfect combination of photos and embellishments. I love the addition of the stars because the little lights on the tree just twinkle like stars. This layout makes me happy. It really, really does. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for listening to my holiday ramblings, as always. And I had a blast with, having Santa peeking out here and there, including all these different elements on my layout and playing with the ink behind my layout. It just was so much fun. So anyways, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, truly appreciate it. And I will check you guys back tomorrow to see what's next and who's playing along with wood grain and winter. All right, thanks you guys. Bye.